The Nintendo Switch 2 has become the only console that I'm collecting for or just simply buying games for. And there are multiple reasons why, but to really sum it up, the Nintendo Switch 2 is just really where I find the most value at. A big reason why I see the most value in the Nintendo Switch 2 platform is because I already have a pretty big collection of Nintendo Switch 1 games, and playing these games on the Switch 2, a lot of them have official upgrades where the frame rates and resolutions are updated. They look better and play better than ever. And Nintendo also implemented a new feature called Boost Mode, which you can turn on your Switch 2 to play all your handheld Switch 1 games as if they're docked. So it gives them an automatic upgrade in handheld right there. And it just so happens that I play like 99% of my games in handheld. Another big reason why I see so much value in the Nintendo Switch 2 platform and buying all my games on this one platform is not just because of the great exclusive AAA Nintendo games that we're getting that you can't get on any other platform, but because we're still getting true physical media, and true physical media does mean true ownership. I know there's been a lot of false rumors out there that Nintendo can just brick your system, take your games away at any moment, but that's a bunch of nonsense. Nintendo still puts the full game on the cartridge without any downloads for you to have to, put on your system. You don't need any internet, and you can still play these games just like it's back in the 1990s. And I know people are starting to value this more than ever, especially with the big news of Sony discontinuing physical games in 2028. And I do know that these game key cards have been a big controversial topic on the Nintendo Switch 2 because yes, this is only a key card. It's not a real physical cartridge. These key cards basically give you a license to download the game, but they do give you just a bit more ownership as you can still take them, buy them, trade them, sell them, lend them out to a friend, play it on any other console. But yes, there is the looming mystery of if the servers or eShop goes down in 20 years, will these key cards be any good? Probably not. Personally, I only really buy them on a deep discount myself, but they are still an option where you can get a lot of good third-party games on the Switch 2 for really cheap. I'm not advocating for them or anything like that, but if you're not afraid of paying like $20 or less for a digital AAA game, that's another great option that you do have on the Nintendo Switch 2. And I want to bring up another point when I talk about games and game prices on the Switch 2. One big reason why I'm just all in on only buying games on the Switch 2 now is because honestly, I'm tired of retro game prices. I'm tired of the retro game market. There are still a lot of great affordable titles out there, but a lot of retro store owners just kind of do scummy practices. They want to sell you beat up copies of games for more than what they're even going for on price charting. I don't have so many options in my area, and it's just gotten kind of ridiculous to where I would rather just play all my games on one console anyway. And one thing that we're getting more than ever is a lot of retro game collections, compilations, remakes, remasters. So I would rather buy stuff like the Disney Afternoon collection on my Switch 2. By the way, when I bought this, I saw DuckTales Remastered for the PS3, which does have better graphics, but that was going for $20 for that one single game when I could get this collection that has like 8 games on it for $40. So I think sometimes there's more value in even buying your retro games to play on your modern consoles like the Nintendo Switch 2. And I do want to talk about third-party games on the Switch 2 again, because for the first time, I would say since probably the Super Nintendo, it feels like we're not completely left behind with third-party support on a Nintendo console again. I mean, seeing games like Cyberpunk, seeing games like Yakuza 0, Resident Evil Requiem, Pragmata get put on the Switch 2 day and date with all other consoles. Capcom has committed to doing that. Square Enix is pretty much committed to putting their big games on the Switch 2 day and date. And a lot of these other AAA publishers do need to catch up, but I think they are. And I do also want to mention that, yes, I'm not the biggest fan of these game key cards, and I know a lot of people aren't either, but a lot of big third-party publishers are actually starting to commit to putting their games all on a true physical cartridge, like Bethesda with the new, not Skyrim, Oblivion remake, Lies of P is going to be put on a true physical cartridge. We're just starting to see more of this where it's becoming a little bit of a trend, and I really hope it continues. Make sure that you do support true physical media by picking up these true physical games on the Switch 2, putting our money where our mouth is, and showing these developers and publishers what we want on the console. But yeah, great third-party games are something that I can actually play and experience on the Switch 2. I'm not really into that, but we're starting to get stuff like even Call of Duty on the Switch 2, where I really feel like the Switch 2 can be your all-in-one console now, and it really is for me. Really having a blast with it, really loving collecting for this console, whether it's still going back and picking up more Nintendo Switch 1 games or just picking up these nice red cases for the Switch 2 games. And I also really do like the Switch 2 editions, which to me, it feels like you're collecting one game for two consoles, because these play on the Nintendo Switch 1 and the Nintendo Switch 2. And then these, I can even share them with my kids who have their own Nintendo Switch consoles. So just been having a great time playing games on the Switch 2, getting the most out of my Switch 1 library on there, and experiencing brand new AAA experiences, which are both first party and third party. Really enjoying collecting for this console, where I really don't miss collecting retro or anything like that. I may go back and dabble in that a little bit, but for the most part, I'm just really all in on buying games and playing games for my Nintendo Switch 2 right now. And one last point that I want to make is that the Switch 2 console generation is just getting started. So we pretty much have an entire console generation left of getting true physical media, which I'm definitely excited for. And if you like this kind of content, definitely subscribe to the channel, like the video, hype the video. I really do appreciate you watching so much, and I'll definitely look forward to catching you all on the next one.